All right, let's jump right in. We are cracking the code on one of the biggest questions out there. What does it actually take to get into Harvard? Now, I want you to forget everything you think you know, because we're going to look at a blueprint that's built from the real-world experiences of students who actually got in. This is going to be good. Does this feel familiar? I mean, this quote from a user on Reddit just hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly captures that sinking feeling, that constant crushing anxiety where you're always comparing yourself to someone else. You see these amazing people with perfect scores and incredible achievements, and you just think, how can I possibly compete with that? Well, we're going to talk all about that. So, first things first, let's just bust the biggest myth right out of the gate. This is the one that sends thousands of students, maybe even you, down a total rabbit hole of wasted energy and stress. I am sure you've seen these things go viral online, right? These old, dusty Harvard entrance exams from like the 1800s, with all these insane brain teasers and lily pad riddles. It's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking, oh man, if I can't solve these crazy hard problems from 150 years ago, I've got no chance. But is that really what the people reading your application are looking for today? The short answer, no, absolutely not. It's kind of relieving to hear, right? You should think of those old exams as cool museum pieces. They're interesting for sure, but they have basically zero to do with how college admissions work now. So here's the real deal. This is what you need to focus on. Harvard isn't looking for some kind of puzzle-solving robot. They're looking for a real person. You know, someone who can handle the tough classes, sure, but also someone with a deep, unique passion and a story that only you can tell. And you know, because so many people misunderstand what admissions officers actually want, they end up chasing all the wrong things. It just creates this really frustrating cycle of burnout where you feel like you're doing a million things but getting nowhere. Let's be honest, does any of this look familiar? I mean, joining 8 different clubs just so you can say you look well-rounded, even though you're not really invested in any of them. Or trying to copy an essay that worked for someone else that you found online. This is that classic checklist of generic stuff that, at the end of the day, just doesn't move the needle. And after all that scattered effort, this is often what you get, a score like a 1480 on the SAT. Now look, that's not a bad score at all. But when you're aiming for the very top and you've poured in all that time and energy, it can feel like a huge disappointment, like a sign that you just don't have what it takes. But what if there is a totally different way to do this? This is where everything changed. It's the moment of discovery that the real secrets aren't in some expensive prep book. They were hiding in plain sight somewhere else entirely. And the answer? It turns out, was buried in over 200 Reddit threads from actual students who got accepted. We're not talking about influencers or consultants here. We're talking about real kids from regular backgrounds who got in and then shared everything, their stats, their essays, their strategies, after they got that big acceptance letter. Okay, and this was the single most important discovery from all that digging. A whopping 99% of the kids who got in were not well-rounded. Not at all. They had what's called a spike. One deep, incredible passion that they took to an exceptional level. They didn't do 10 things okay, they did one thing amazingly. And that right there was the game changer. The other huge insight was about the essay. The number one mistake people make, they basically turn their essay into a long, boring paragraph version of their resume. But come on, the admissions officer already has your list of activities. The golden rule that came up again and again was show, don't tell. Use a story to reveal who you are, what makes you tick. Don't just list your accomplishments. So all of this amazing research, all these real stories from students who made it, it was all boiled down into a super practical, actionable strategy. A clear, 4-part framework to build an application that actually gets noticed. And that research led to this 4-pillar blueprint. First up, spike crafting. This means instead of trying to be a jack of all trades, you go all in on becoming a master of one thing. Second, metric mastery, which is all about reframing things like the SAT. It's not a test of your intelligence. It's just a game you can learn the rules to and win. Third, storytelling, making your essay a window into your personality, not just a list of things you did. And finally, strategic alignment. This is where you show them you've done your homework and can point to exactly how you fit into their community. But, okay, does this all sound good in theory, or does it actually work? Well, the proof is right there in the results. Shifting from that generic, do-everything approach to this focused 4-pillar blueprint, it made a huge, tangible difference. Just look at that. A 100-point jump on the SAT from 1480 to 1580. And this isn't about some magic trick or suddenly becoming a genius overnight. It's just about smart, focused, strategic effort. It's what happens when you treat the test like a coachable skill, just like the blueprint says, instead of some final judgment on your worth as a person. At the end of the day, this is about so much more than just a better test score. It's about a complete shift in your mindset, in your whole approach to this process. It's about moving from that place of constant anxiety and comparison to a place of confidence and focused action.
This chart really sums it all up, doesn't it? You go from being paralyzed by what everyone else is doing to focusing on your own unique story. You stop chasing that vague, well-rounded idea, and instead you build an unforgettable spike. You stop writing generic essays and start revealing your true character. And you stop believing it's all just a random lottery, and you start applying with real confidence because you know you have a solid strategy.
So we'll leave you with this one question to really think about. As you look at everything you've put together for your application, your activities, your grades, your essays, just ask yourself this. Have you built a resume, a simple, flat list of your achievements? Or have you told a compelling story, a story that only you can tell? Because that difference, well, that's everything.